Duke and Arizona get top 4 wins while Auburn and UCLA win at the buzzer. We get into all this and more coming up on Hoops in 5, your 5-minute college basketball show. I'm your host, PJ Glasser, and let's get into it. We had a top 3 matchup in D.C. on Saturday between number 1 Michigan and number 3 Duke, maybe the 2 best teams in the country. It felt like a Final Four caliber game, maybe even a national championship caliber game. Going into this one, a lot of people, myself included, felt like Michigan was the best team in the country. I still feel that way, but this game definitely raised some questions for me with the Wolverines. We have to start with their backcourt, Elliot Cadeau and Amari Burnett, who combined for 8 points for Michigan on Saturday. Burnett was held scoreless. Cadeau didn't score until about the final 10 minutes of the game. Preseason, Michigan was a top 10 team. We knew their front court was going to be terrific, but everybody had questions about their backcourt. And I think after watching this game, those questions are starting to come to the forefront again. I think they're legit. If those guys play like they did on Saturday, Michigan is not going to beat the top teams in the country. They're not going to win a national championship. With all that being said, those guys did not play well at all, and Michigan only lost the game by 5. Duke won 68-63. I thought there was another interesting comment made by Yaxel Landenborg, Duke's star forward in this game, talking about how Duke's defense was unlike anything they have seen in the Big Ten. Now, Duke's got maybe the best defense in the country, but saying that their defense is way better than all the teams in the Big Ten, considering you got Michigan State, you got Nebraska, Purdue, Illinois, all these top caliber teams, I thought was an interesting comment. Really good win for John Shire and Duke, who continues to show he might be a top 5 team in the country. Again, their defense was great. Cameron Bruiser was really good. They also missed free throws, missed 3-pointers, but they look like the much more mature and poised team, and really good win for Duke. If these teams matched up, though, again, in the NCAA tournament, I'd probably take Michigan in the rematch. Another top 4 matchup that we had on Saturday was in the Big 12 between Arizona and Houston, and what a great game this was. What a great win for Arizona, going on the road in just really an impossible building to win in, usually in Houston. They usually never lose there without one of their best players and future lottery pick in Koa Pete, and Arizona really led this game for much of the way. They got off to a great start in the first half. Anytime you go on the road and you're missing one of your best players, you need one of your other guys to step up, and that's exactly what Anthony Del Orso did for Arizona on Saturday. He led all scorers. He was awesome in this game, but really it was the defense for Arizona that led the way. Houston went for over 10 minutes in the second half without a field goal. Just an unbelievable job by the Wildcat defense. Even going without a field goal in about 10 minutes, Houston was still able to hang around in this game and still able to win. So much like the Michigan-Duke game for me, even though Houston lost, moving forward, I still like Houston in this game because Kingston Flemings is a stud. They got so much talent. I think this loss is going to do a lot of good for them. And again, it says a lot about a team that you're able to not score a field goal for 10 minutes against one of the best teams in the country and still have a chance to win at the end. All right, another great game we had from Saturday was in the Big Ten. UCLA and Illinois as the Bruins pick up their second top 10 win of the season, and boy did they need it. It was a disaster road trip for UCLA going to Michigan. They got smoked by Michigan, and they got smoked by Michigan State. Mick Cronin sound bites after the game were awful. He seems like the most unlikable human being on planet Earth. They come back home and they face the top 10 Illinois team. They're down by as many as 23 points in this game. Would have been so easy for UCLA to fold and quit, but credit them for climbing all the way back. They forced overtime in this game. And then in the final seconds, 5 seconds, how about Donovan Dent channeling his inner Tyus Edney going coast to coast to lay it in as time expires, and UCLA picks up a massive win over Illinois. Another team who gets a massive win on Saturday is Auburn, and boy, did they need it in the worst way. Stephen Pearl's team is really right there on the bubble, needing a quad 1 victory, and that's exactly what they got on Kentucky, who suffers another tough loss. Mark Pope's team's been very up and down on the road this season. They've gotten blown out by Vanderbilt, blown out by Alabama. They did have a nice win at Arkansas, and they almost got a big one on Saturday against Auburn. As Auburn, this game was kind of going back and forth. Auburn was leading pretty much a majority of the game. Kentucky had the lead late. Final possession, and Auburn gets a tip-in with 1.1 second left to win it against Kentucky. Some of the other scores we had from over the weekend: BYU takes down Iowa State, Tennessee beats Vandy, and UConn bounces back to beat Villanova. Big Monday tonight in college basketball, and we got two big ones. Top 25 matchup in the ACC between Louisville and NC State, UNC, and Houston is at Kansas. We're going to go to that Houston-Kansas game. My best bet is going to be Kansas in the first half plus a half. You're going to hear all day. Kansas is 39-0 under Bill Self in these big Monday games, while Houston has lost 2 straight games. Something's got to give. Somebody's got to win. So instead of making a full game bet, I'm going to take Kansas at home behind that crowd in the first 20 minutes plus a half, and then I'm going to get out and I'm just going to enjoy the next 20 minutes. Kansas plus a half in the first half, my best bet of the day. That'll do it for Hoops and 5. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.